I wanted to give you a little overview of Alina's work. I'm Regine. I'm one of her colleagues from the Word for the World. As you know, she started to work with us a little while ago in 2012. She did the first training with us, and she has been working in two capacities: as a consultant checking Bible passages against the original languages, Greek and Hebrew, as well as in training Bible translation. Just an overview with regards to consultation. She has been involved in 2013, 14 and 15, first learning and then doing things by herself from 2015 onwards. She was in North India, Rajasthan with Dr. Barry Funnell. Then shortly later in 2013, she was in Tanzania with Dr. Mani van den Heever and checked the book of Hebrews in 4 language groups in Tanzania: Kutu, Makua, Ngindu, and Bidunda. In 2014, she checked the book of Ezekiel with Dr. Barry Funnell again in 5 language groups in Ethiopia: Konta, Oida, Melo, Sheko, and Yemsa. And in 2015, she checked the book of 2 Corinthians in Zambia and the biblical books of Esther, Ruth, and Jonah with the Eastern Slovak Romani team. With regards to teaching, she has made 8 trips and has taught Greek in Northeast India, in South India, and in Zambia, literary studies, that is how to translate the Bible as a book of literature, which you know is one of her strong sides. She taught that in Ethiopia, Tanzania, and in South India. She taught the process of Bible translation in Slovakia, and she's taught the study of meaning, semantics in Zambia, and theory of translation in Northeast India. Now some pictures and impressions from her work. So her first trip with us before she ever was a member was in 2012. It was through Dr. Barry Evans from the United Bible Society and SIL that we got in contact with her. And she taught the theory of translation to 6 language groups. She went back there again in 2013 to teach Greek, but I did not put separate pictures in. Here you see the group of students she is teaching. And of course, Alina is never only she teaching, she loves interacting with people, especially if it involves coffee. Here you also see some of the belief systems that the people that she is teaching grew up with. Here it's about the sacred cow. You know, Hinduism is great in India as a main dominant religion, but also some great Christian leaders. This is a gentleman, Paul Owen, one of her star students, who is a leader of a church in Burma, Myanmar. Here you see some pictures of the church that he is leading, adults as well as children. And you can imagine the impact it will have if they have the Bible in their own language rather than just in the state language. Here you see her in 2013, still looking a little bit younger. That was before her first chemo. Consultation of Hebrews. And this is what it looks like. This is Dr. Mani van den Heever. Here you see this computer program Paratext that Alina has on her computer. And you see the same Bible passage in 4 related Tanzanian languages. The translators then compare that with each other, and Alina and another colleague who was, and Dr. Mani van den Heever and another American colleague who was also training at the time, then compare that with the original languages and have discussions about the text. This is how food is prepared on 3 stones. Very simple, and it takes many hours, and all of us are always very grateful for these ladies who stand for hours in the kitchen and cook in the hot sun for us. Some pictures from Rajasthan. Here you see her at work with Dr. Barry Funnell. You see the same Bible program. The top here is Hindi. This is Greek with an interlinear translation, word by word translation, and this is a free translation. And it is this, the back translation, that Alina and Barry can understand, and the back translation is what they query. Here you see her with the people she was working with. And now just a little enjoyment. At the end of a very hard 3 weeks, they went on an outing on a camel cart.
Right, we are riding on a real-life camel cart somewhere in Rajasthan. What's this place called? Pushkar.
Pushkar is this
And
one.
this is what we look like on this cart. All bunched together. And yours truly is lying with all these. And this is the front view of the camel. And the back view as we are walking along.
So always smiling faces when people see Alina. This is the group of people she was working with. Then in 2013 she also went to Zambia, and I had the privilege to go to the Victoria Falls with her. Here we see a picture of that. She gave an introduction to Greek to Bible translators. This was the venue where we were staying and also teaching. This is the inside. You see the group of Bible translators. Some have computers, some don't, and much interaction going on. And this was the privileged group of us who went to the Victoria Falls. And of course, who holds the baby? Self-explanatory. Then she came to the UK in 2014, just after she had become a member. And she met some board members. This is the wife of the chairman, who is a true intercessor. And Alina was staying with them for a week. And then she came and visited me in London. And here we are preparing the curriculum review, which took place later that year in South Africa. And of course, there is always fun where Alina is. And as you know, she loves children, she loves people, and she loves dogs. And then in 2014, she also went again on a consultation, the book of Ezekiel. You can find it on her Facebook page. And very important in Alina's life, as you know, is coffee. And in Ethiopia, you've come to the right place, because that's where coffee was first made. That's where actually the town Kaffa, that's where the word coffee comes from. Here you see the setup for the consultation, only men, which Alina did find at times challenging, but has learned to negotiate. And here you see a picture of a celebration when a New Testament was first published. The church choirs come and people flock from many places to celebrate the launch of the Bible. And here you see the pastor, or one of the pastors, holding it. This is how coffee is prepared. It's roasted over a charcoal fire and gives a wonderful smell. Here you see her teaching. And of course, always in close contact with the students. And of course, always having fun. In between of all the hard work, there must be time for that. And here we are on a horse cart, learning to ride it, and visiting a colleague's family, being at a lakeside. This is the pictures that you see on the road. Then we went together to Tanzania. No, she went alone to Tanzania without me, and she taught literary studies. In Tanzania, it's very important to sleep under mosquito nets because malaria is very prevalent there, but Alina did not get ill, thank God for that, even though her suitcase was lost in Vienna, I think, and she didn't have her medication on her, but she got through this without any illness. Enjoying coffee breaks, which is probably here, yeah, it might be tea, and speaking to people of all walks of life. In 2014, which was a very busy year for her, she also went on the first leaders conference in South Africa, and Alina, being Alina, added on a holiday afterwards. And this is a picture from there. And she gave input into the curriculum review, which took place at that time. Then in the following year, she went to Zambia and taught Bible translators Greek. I've only found one picture here from an outing, but she also did teaching. Can assure you, I've seen that she has graded the students. And then shortly later, she went back to Zambia. Here you see a picture of some insects that are fried. It's a delicacy in Zambia. And she checked the book of 2 Corinthians against against Greek with the ILA team. And that was her first independent consultation, which took place in April, I believe, April 2015, after which she became very unwell. So these are the pictures from her work, the students, and of course, fun. No trip without fun. Then she had this long bout of cancer when it was finally diagnosed, and her battle with death that you all know about. And then her first trip after that was in May 2015 to Slovakia. She didn't want to go very far because she was still very much in touch with the doctors, as you know. And so she said, this is just a neighboring country. Let me see how much strength God has given me. And she taught the process of Bible translation. Here we see a picture of a Roma village. And this was the setup of the training. It was a very small group, 2 Roma from Slovakia, from the Begitka, and 3 from the Eastern Slovak, and 1 Czech student who had studied Romani studies and has since joined the Slovak team. Here you see her teaching, using all sorts of manners, and visiting a Roma family. And here we see, on the right, top right, we see Marek, the main translator of the New Testament of the Eastern Slovak. And he is speaking to Andrzej, the Polish Begitka Rome, and they have a lot to say to each other. And of course, children. As you know, Alina loves playing with children. And here you see a senior pastor in Slovakia. He is Slovak, but is overseeing many Roma churches. And Alina, his name is Igor. You can find his name on Facebook. If you look on there, you see that they are in close contact. And this was all the group who made the Slovak training happen, including the administrators and the people who cooked for us. And in the top left, the guy that is the Michal from the Czech Republic, who is helping the Eastern Slovak team now with his Romani studies. And you can see that the New Testament, which was launched in 2014 in Slovakia, is being used. This is what it looks like 2 years later. This is one of the Roma pastors. And then she went back later on and checked the books of Esther, Ruth, and Jonah with that team, and there are some pictures from that. And then she went to India in 2016 and taught Greek and literary studies. Here you see an idol, a Ganesha statue on the road. And here you see Alina teaching Greek in a very inventive way and people enjoying it. And then she went to the Leaders Conference in 2016. We stayed at a very nice venue. The man with his hands lifted up is Veronique Krüger. He is the president of our organization, and the man to the right of him, the black person, is the incumbent president. And of course, lots of interaction over coffee. And here she is addressing the whole leadership team and talks about her approach to literary studies and is enjoying reading the New Testament of the ILA, which had since been published. So far, her impact in the Bible translation world since she has joined us is that she has made 8 trips to train Bible translators in Northeast India, Ethiopia, India, Slovakia, Tanzania, and Zambia. 5 times she has made trips to consult. That was in Ethiopia, India, Tanzania, Slovakia, and Zambia. She has given input into the curriculum review and addressed people at the Leaders Conference. And she has attended courses in Turkey and Israel on biblical poetry and in Krakow. She has done Romani studies, as you know. We know that there are many more language groups needing the Bible and hungry for the Bible. And as I was staying in Alina's flat when I was visiting her, one night I couldn't sleep, and the word that came to me was that the God Almighty, who has had the first word over Alina's life, also has the last word over her life. He has prepared good works for Alina to do in advance, according to Ephesians 2:10, and she will glorify him by completing them, so we can be assured that Alina will not go before her time. So let us support her in the great work she is doing and that God has called her to do.